Again, thank you so much for joining us here on Idaho Today. With the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, many of us do our shopping online to help save time, right? But that can also make us a target for scammers. So to ensure that we all have a jolly holiday season and avoid the Grinch arriving in our email accounts, we have Joshua Hurwitz to tell us all about the Don't Click December campaign. This is a really important campaign because there's a lot happening right now, and it's easy, I think, to let our guards down, right? Especially when we're shopping online. So tell us a little more about the Don't Click December campaign.
Sure.
What's this all about?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Mellisa. It's great to be with you and share the message of the campaign. So the campaign started between my office, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Idaho, and the FBI, and we also brought in our local law enforcement partners, mostly in Ada County, but around the state, to create a series of PSAs, short videos that tell shoppers and all of us what to be aware of when we're online. And the reason that we chose December is that during the holiday season, as you mentioned, people are shopping online, we're looking for deals, we're trying to manage all sorts of things, right? The criminals out there, the scammers, know this, and so there's an uptick in this type of fraudulent activity over the holiday season.
Yeah, and I mean, I imagine that there's a lot of people that shop online quite often, but I would think this time in particular, there's probably more people who are doing it for the first time, right? Because they're just so crunched with time. They're like, I can't go into a store. I'm just going to order this on Amazon. I'm going to order this here. So I'd imagine those individuals might be what the scammers are likely targeting the most, right?
You're absolutely right. In fact, the scammers know that the people might not be familiar with online shopping, and so they send these messages. It can be through an email or a text that says, you know, do this, do that, you can get this deal. So they're taking advantage of what you just mentioned, which is people, you know, trying to sort of shortcut the shopping process.
Yeah, okay. And then you kind of already mentioned some of the, you know, the red flags, but I mean, there's multiple ways, right? So I think we're familiar with some of those scamming emails that ask for some personal information, but now they're also doing it through phones, like you'd mentioned. And sometimes telling you, oh, I can't deliver a package, which we're all getting lots of packages this time of year, right? So there's new sneaky ways that they're trying to trip people up.
Yeah, the scams and the threats, unfortunately, are always evolving. And you mentioned the package scam. That's one of the things in our videos that we highlight in particular. And the common thread for all these scams, and even the ones that, you know, we haven't particularly pointed out yet in the videos, is it's an unsolicited message. So it could be a text from someone you don't know or a service that you don't even use, basically trying to trick you into forming a relationship with the person on the other end of the communication to get you to spend your money or give personal information. Yeah,
they're trying to get you to trust them.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what are a couple of the red flags? I know we've kind of already talked about them, but you know, like you'd mentioned, they're trying to get your personal information. We've mentioned that they can text. There's some emails. Are there a couple other things that people need to be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just talk about emails for a second. When you get an email that looks like it's from a business entity and they're asking you to do something, and again, it's unsolicited, be really careful about the content of that. Look at the email address. Sometimes it might say it's from Amazon, but if you look at the email address, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with Amazon. Sometimes you'll get these messages and they have pretty obvious misspellings. You know, that's a good red flag that this isn't actually legitimate business. The other thing that we see, unfortunately, is threats. So if you get an unsolicited message saying, you know, you need to do this or you're going to be in trouble, maybe it has to do with taxes, maybe it has to do with some even sort of criminal threat, you know, legitimate government entities, legitimate business entities don't do that. They don't send a message to you threatening legal action. The other thing to note too is sometimes the scams involve requests to pay someone through gift cards or through cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. That's a huge red flag as well.
Okay, all right. And then I like how you pointed out the misspellings, also taking a look at the URL. Sometimes, though, I think these scammers are getting much better at trying to look like that they're legitimate. They'll even steal some of the logos of other businesses, put them in the email, so if you just glance at it, you think that it's legit, and you're in a hurry, and you're like, oh, there's a link, click. No. If there's a link, you never touch it, right? You just always call the business that they're saying that they are to confirm whether or not this is legitimately from them, right? Yeah.
That's a great point. You know, the scammers sort of depend on our human psychology to respond quickly, right? We want to be efficient, we want to be responsive, but take your time, you know, pause. If someone's on the phone or you're getting an email or a text message, you know, stop that conversation. And if you think it's a legitimate service that you're involved with or you actually are receiving a package, you know, hang up or end the text exchange, and then go back and contact the legitimate source separately, and you'll find out if it's real or not.
Don't rush into it.
Exactly.
What if somebody does end up getting scammed? What do they do?
Yeah, so first of all, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, this happens to everybody. You know, I'm the U.S. Attorney for Idaho, and we run in our office and through the Department of Justice various types of tests to make sure that we're sort of using best practices. And I'll have to admit, you know, I've been tricked a couple of times just through our internal processes because it's natural to sort of not pay attention, you know, the first time. So if you're victimized, again, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Call local law enforcement, or the FBI has a great internet crimes reporting website called ic3.gov.
Okay.
And you know, you can report those from all over the country, but it gets pushed out to this specific location where you live. So if you live in Idaho and you report to that website, a local FBI agent will get that report really quickly. You can also call our office, which is 208-334-1211. We can work with local law enforcement to respond.
Wonderful. Josh, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. And, you know, we're going to expand a little bit more, too, on the conversation that Josh and I are having with this video. Take a look.
Every day, millions of Americans fall victim to online fraud and theft, losing billions of dollars each year. And Idahoans are no exception. Criminals use deception to steal your personal information, your hard-earned money, savings, and retirement funds. It's not about if you or a loved one will be the target of the scam, but when. But you can take action to protect yourself and your loved ones. First, take some time to learn about scams. Next, talk with your friends and family, both young and old, about the scams that will target them and the red flags to look for. The more you know, the easier it is to help stop yourself and others from becoming a victim.
You should know that most scams start with a cold contact, an unsolicited message either by phone, email, text, or pop-up. Then there's a hook. It could be an offer, an issue you need to handle, or a threat demanding that you take immediate action. Scammers play on your emotions, so before you act, stop, question, and confirm. Take a second look at that email address. Look for typos in the message. Question what the sender is saying. Did you even make an online order? Why would any organization or company be threatening you or asking you to pay in Bitcoin or gift cards? Why would anyone tell you to keep it a secret or lie? The answer is they wouldn't. So if you receive a link out of nowhere, don't click.
Don't click it.
Don't click it. Have conversations about scams with the people you love. If you are a victim, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Anyone can be a victim of a scam. Report it early to your local law enforcement agency. I'm Josh Hurwitz, United States Attorney for the District of Idaho, and along with our law enforcement partners, I am asking you to be part of our Don't Click December Consumer Protection Campaign. Be vigilant, be cautious, and always question the validity of unsolicited messages. To learn more about scams targeting Americans, visit fbi.gov. And if you think you're the victim of a scam, take action by reporting it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov or to your local law enforcement agency.